We've got more disturbing details this morning. They're emerging about that 18-year-old accused of the Buffalo supermarket shooting. Overnight, ABC News confirms some of the posts that he made in an online document that we obtained happened just 30 minutes before the attack. This comes as President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden visited the scene yesterday and spent time with the grieving families. ABC's Stephanie Ramos was also there.
President Biden sending a message after that racist rampage in Buffalo.
What happened here is simple and straightforward. Terrorism. Terrorism. Domestic terrorism.
The president and first lady meeting with the families of the 10 victims who lost their lives when an 18-year-old gunman opened fire at Tops Supermarket on Saturday in what authorities call a racially motivated attack.
We need to say as clearly and forcefully as we can that the ideology of white supremacy has no place in America.
The president blasting those who embrace replacement theory, the racist belief allegedly held by the shooter that there's a conspiracy to replace white Americans with people of color. This as new details emerge about the suspected gunman Peyton Gendron, seen here in this graduation photo, after he was investigated for threatening a murder-suicide at school in spring of 2021. Attention now turning to the 589-page document found online, containing posts the suspect allegedly wrote on the social media platform Discord prior to the supermarket attack. ABC News confirming that some of those posts were made in a private group 30 minutes prior to the attack. It's unclear who had access to them or who saw them. In December, the suspect allegedly building up an arsenal of weapons, including the rifle used in the assault. In February, a post claiming that his parents were unaware of the ammo and arsenal he'd acquired. Then in March, multiple posts about his alleged visit to the Buffalo area, where he did reconnaissance on the Tops grocery store. The shooter also allegedly posting about taking part in animal abuse, claiming his mother gave him a box to bury a cat he killed. Then on May 5th, just over a week before the attack, the suspect noting he'd been lying to his parents for months. A community suffering not only the loss of loved ones, but also a store they relied on.
And this has been a center of community, so for it to be closed for any period of time is a hardship for some people.
The mayor also tells me there's been an outpouring of support with money and food donations for distribution centers. He also says Tops is working to set up rides for residents so they can get to other Tops grocery stores. Kira.
Stephanie Ramos there in Buffalo for us. Stephanie, thanks. And ABC News White House correspondent MaryAlice Parks joins me now from the White House for more on this. MaryAlice, Biden met with the families of those 10 victims that were killed. What do we know about how those meetings actually went, and what have we learned about the victims? More about these families.
Yeah, Kara, we know the president met privately behind closed doors with the families for over an hour. And this is something we've seen from Joe Biden before. He's the kind of president that believes his presence alone can be powerful. He often, in the wake of a tragedy, likes to literally lend a shoulder to cry on. And you're right, during his public remarks, he made a point of mentioning very personal details about each and every one of the 10 victims. Kira.
So during Biden's remarks yesterday, we took those live here on ABC News Live. He specifically talked about replacement theory and those spreading it. Let's just go back for a minute and take a listen. I want to talk to you about this.
The hate that through the media and politics, the internet, has radicalized angry, alienated, lost, and isolated individuals into falsely believing that they will be replaced.
So these were strong words. It's the first time we've actually heard him talk about this so specifically. So what do you think, MaryAlice? Can we expect him to take any more action to address any of this?
Yeah, Kara, it's incredibly interesting. We saw him put this one gunman and his racist rampage within a larger context, a larger white supremacist movement, and say that this larger movement afoot in America is extremely dangerous. And like you heard there, we saw the president point blame and say that responsibility needs to be paid, that people beyond just this gunman, people in the media, in politics, who are spreading racist theories, who are spreading that replacement theory, bear so some responsibility as well. Now, it's interesting what you said about what else he can do. I think that's a big question here in Washington. From a policy perspective, what else can be done? You know, there's a conversation about whether there can be more restrictions around social media, whether the social media companies need to be doing more when it comes to flagging these sort of posts to law enforcement, whether there's more law enforcement should be doing to look at domestic terrorism. But I think what we saw yesterday was the president saying at least what we can begin to do is talk more openly about what is going on, more openly about white supremacy sort of growing in this country, that maybe sunlight can be a disinfectant here if the country starts talking about the need to root this out. Kira.
Well, definitely there has to be more done about social media, because that's where all this is growing, that deep, dark web. And also, too, every time something like this happens, when we have a mass shooting, we talk about gun control and stepping up the push for gun control. So here we go again, having the discussion once again. It's in the headlines. What can Biden do now with regard to gun control?
Yeah, you're right. We've seen the White House work on some small policies, some executive actions. They've tried to make inroads with making sure that ghost guns are outlawed, but big ticket items like trying to ban assault weapons, trying to ban high-capacity magazines, that stuff that's going to take Congress. And we continue to see this White House just so frustrated that they cannot get movement on Capitol Hill. Kira.
All right, MaryAlice Parks here at the White House for us. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.